Hello, welcome to the Met Office 10-day trend. We are going to see changes with the weather over the next 10 days or so. Quite a big change into the weekend. We are going to replace this humid air at the moment that's causing some big slow-moving thunderstorms with another area of low pressure that's bringing in fresher conditions. There will still be some wet weather around, and it could also turn quite windy. There are signs into next week of some drier, sunnier weather and perhaps warmer weather too, particularly across the south, whereas the northwest always looking likely to remain more unsettled and on the fresher side. Let's take a look at the big picture, because there's low pressure nearby at the moment, but it's what we call quite a flabby area of low pressure. There's not a lot of isobars across the UK, which means the winds are light, which means the thunderstorms that are being created in the humid atmosphere are slow moving, and that's why they're dropping a lot of rain in given locations in a relatively short space of time, and that's causing a few issues, which is why we have weather warnings in force. As we go over the next few days, though, that low is replaced, yes, by another area of low pressure, but this one's got very different characteristics. It's coming in from the Atlantic, so it's bringing in fresher air, and look, there's lots more isobars with this area of low pressure. It's a more active feature, which means the winds will be stronger. So we are going to see a wet and windy spell. For many, though, that will be, it looks like, on Saturday night. Why the change? Well, it's to do with what's going on high up in the atmosphere and the jet stream. Coming back to the here and now, the jet stream's fairly fragmented. There's not a lot going on, as is often the case at this time of year. But if we pull out and look across the Atlantic, the jet stream is getting its act together over the next couple of days. Coming out of the east of Canada, the jet stream's pepping up, and it's that's responsible for driving in that other area of low pressure arriving into the weekend. So yes, we will see a change. For the next couple of days, though, it's still humid, it's still gloopy atmosphere. There are still slow-moving thunderstorms around, so we have weather warnings in force. But into the weekend, well, there will still be a spell of wet and windy weather coming in from that different area of low pressure, but it will be bringing fresher air. And with a switch in wind direction, it's probably pretty good news for the east coast. Again, coming back to the here and now, the current situation with a low to the south, we've been drifting the winds in from the North Sea, which is why the east coast has been on the cool side and plagued by low cloud and mist. But a switch in wind direction to a southwesterly wind will mean that those eastern areas now have an offshore wind. It turns much brighter, and it should also be quite a bit warmer here too. So, changes into the weekend. What about into the early part of next week? Well, it does look as if low pressure will still be nearby. And as the jet stream kind of dips south, you get that little bend in it close to the UK. Well, that could pep an area of rain up for a time, it looks like, on Monday. So there could be another spell of wet weather swinging across the country early next week. Beyond that, though, well, although low pressure is sticking nearby, it looks like it's just going to hang out up to the northwest, and higher pressure will start to move in for the south and east, closer to the continent. High pressure, you probably know, means drier and often sunnier weather at this time of year, and it could warm up as well. The European charts here from the European model suggesting that there's some warmer air nearby. Depending on the exact position of the high and the exact shape of it and the low pressure and the way the winds are blowing, that could allow some really quite warm air to waft up across parts of the south. Obviously, some uncertainty about that at this stage, but the general picture for next week, a northwest to southeast split, with the northwest looking cooler and fresher with more likelihood of seeing showers. Further south and east, drier, sunnier and perhaps warmer weather, although that, of course, at this time of year could then trigger further thunderstorms. So quite a lot going on. Make sure you stay up to date with the very latest from the Met Office. Best way to do that is to follow us, of course, on social media.